Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source, coming off a monster Monday night. VIP ticket went 8-3 plus 4.04 units. Top bets went 2-0. Parlay of the day cashed. What? Just overall an amazing Monday night. I'm actually up 9 units in the last 4 days. I'm on a roll right now. Let's keep it going. We got, I think, 8 games tonight. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source.
First up, Detroit on the road in DC to play the Wizards. This is a 7 p.m. tip time. This total opens up at 2:30, and this line opens up Washington minus 11. This line has been on the move. We are now up to Wizards minus 12.5. We got a pros versus public look here. Public is definitely on the Pistons. Sharp money is on Washington, though. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Washington minus 9.89. So we're looking at about a 2.5 point lean on Detroit here. I'm most likely going to stay off this one. I definitely like the spot for Washington, and I truly think they will win this by double digits. But we're talking about laying 12.5 points here. This Pistons team just isn't getting blown out right now. In their last 10 games, guess how many times they've been beaten by more than 12 points? Once. In Cleveland, they lost one time by 14. This team's just not getting blown out. So laying 12.5 to them, even though I like the spot, it just seems crazy. Also, a lot of question marks in this one. Kyle Kuzma questionable, Taj Gibson questionable for Washington. For Detroit, Bogdanovich, Jaden Ivey, and someone else. They got a bunch of questionables also. So I'm just gonna skip this one. I'll say Washington or pass next game.
Update. So basically all those guys who were questionable for Detroit are out. Bagley out, Bogdanovich out, Burks out, Diallo out, Ivy out, Livers out, Stewart out. So everyone out, but also Kyle Kuzma is out for Washington as well. I'm still going to stay away from this one. Let's go to the next game.
Cleveland's on the road in Charlotte to play the Hornets. This is a 7 p.m. start. This total opens up at 222, and this line opens up Charlotte plus 8.5. Line actually drops down to 7.5 almost immediately. It was 7.5 last night. Right now, it's bouncing back and forth between 7.5 and 8. Actually, the public is on Charlotte here, so we got a public dog in the Hornets. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Charlotte plus 0.71. So we're looking at a huge lean on the Hornets, like a 7-point lean. I really don't like this spot for Cleveland. I don't like betting them on the road to begin with. They're just 14, 19, and 2 against the spread on the road this season. That's 21st best in the NBA. 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 road games. And they're laying 7.5, 8 points without Jarrett Allen playing. I mean, that's a tough sell. But Charlotte's going to be without Mark Williams tonight, so that kind of cancels out the Jarrett Allen injury because Mark Williams is the Hornets' best interior defender and best rebounder. He kind of plays the same exact role on Charlotte that Jarrett Allen does on Cleveland. But here's the thing. The Hornets have Nick Richards to start at the 5 instead of Mark Williams. That's a much better option than Cleveland. They have to start Evan Mobley at the 5. I know you're probably thinking, yo, Evan Mobley's way better than Nick Richards. Yeah, overall as a basketball player, but Evan Mobley at the 5 is a defensive liability. He's great. He's a great player at the 4. Do not like him at the 5. So I'm going to side with the public on this one. I'm taking the points. I think Charlotte controls the paint in this game with Nick Richards and PJ Washington. Cleveland's really thin in the front court. So give me Charlotte plus 8 next game.
Update. Donovan Mitchell ruled out as well for Cleveland. This line now drops down to 5.5. I still like Charlotte. I actually think the Hornets are a live dog. I think they can win this game straight up. So I'm still on Charlotte plus 5.5.
The slumping Denver Nuggets are on the road up in Canada to play the Raps. This is a 7:30 p.m. start. This total opens up at 225. Line opens up Toronto plus 2. Check out the line movement in this one. It's moved 3 whole points already. Toronto is now laying a point to the Nuggets. Public is actually leaning Toronto too. Nothing crazy. It's close to even, but slightly leaning towards the Raps. So let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Toronto plus 2.85. So we're looking at a nice little lean on the Nuggets, like a 4-point lean. Jamal Murray is questionable for Denver. Obviously, that would be a loss to take for the Nuggets. But that being said, we've seen this Nuggets team win a lot of basketball games without him. He missed a 6-game stretch in February just last month, and the Nuggets went 4-2 in that stretch. Denver's also deep as hell. I mean, they have a ton of outside shooting. They can give extra minutes to Reggie Jackson, Bruce Brown. I'm not saying that if Jamal Murray doesn't play, that it doesn't matter, but I'm saying if there's one team that can replace his minutes, it's Denver. The first thing I like to do when I'm capping a Raptors game is look at their opponent's defensive ORB percentage, because that's how the Raptors win games. They clean up the offensive glass. That's how this team has been built for 2 or 3 years now. And good news for Denver, they are 5th since February 1st in defensive ORB rate. The second thing I like to look at when I'm capping a Raptors game is their opponent's defensive efficiency against the mid-range shot, because Toronto is one of the few teams that feature the mid-range shot in their offense. I think they're third in efficiency over the last couple months. And some more good news for Denver. They've been pretty solid against the mid-range shot. They're 12th in the NBA over the last 2 months. So there's two matchups right off the bat that lean towards Denver, in my opinion. In fact, most analytics are going to point towards the Nuggets here. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NBA and have been for most of the season. The kicker here is whether or not the Nuggets' current losing streak scares you. They've now lost 3 straight to the Bulls, the Spurs, and the Nets. I mean, what? Now you got the Raps in Toronto when you're not playing your best basketball. I can see why the public is leaning towards Toronto here. But you want to know who else isn't playing their best basketball right now? The Raps. They've lost 3 in a row themselves. They lost 4 of their last 5. Even if Jamal Murray doesn't play, I'm still going to bet the Nuggets here. I'm catching points with one of the best teams in the NBA. So give me Denver plus 1.5 next game. The suddenly red-hot Brooklyn Nets on the road in OKC to play the red-hot Thunder. This game starts at 8 p.m. Total opens up at 225, and this line opens up as a pick'em. Line has moved a little bit in this one. We're now looking at OKC minus 1.5, and we got a pros versus public setup here. Public definitely leaning towards OKC. Sharp action definitely leaning towards Brooklyn. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet, and according to the model, the line for this game should be Oklahoma City minus 6.15, so a solid lean on the Thunder there. The question in this one is, whose hot streak are you riding? You got the Brooklyn Nets 5-1 straight up in their last 6, 6-0 against the spread in their last 6, and then you got the Oklahoma City Thunder 5-1 in their last 6 as well, 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. If we match up shot distribution versus defense in this one, it's kind of a wash because OKC loves to attack the basket. They attack the rim at one of the highest rates in the NBA. Brooklyn, since the All-Star break, 13th in the NBA defensive efficiency. Now, Brooklyn, we know, loves to shoot threes. They shoot threes at a very high clip, top 5 in the NBA. OKC, 14th in defensive efficiency against the 3. So really no lean there. I know we've been betting the Nets recently, and we've been cashing. The problem is, I don't know how sustainable the Nets' success is. It's hard to get behind a team that just doesn't rebound. Look at these rebounding numbers here. This is since March 1st. So this is the Nets' hot streak. This is during their hot streak. 25th in offensive rebounding rate and 27th in defensive ORB rate. You cannot sustain success with those kind of rebounding numbers. So I'm going to take the Thunder at home here, as long as Brooklyn doesn't get red hot from 3, which they are capable of. But as long as that doesn't happen, I think OKC should win this one comfortably. So give me Oklahoma City minus 1.5 next game. Probably the biggest game of the night here if we're talking playoff implications. Lakers in NOLA to play the Pelicans. This game starts at 8 p.m. This total opens up 232. Line opens up Pelicans minus 1.5. Really no data in for this one in any of my sources. I got nothing for you. I can tell you the line's moved to 1.5. It's now a pick'em, and it's looking like the public is heavy on the Lakers, but I'll let you know on Twitter later. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be New Orleans plus 1.66. So a very slight lean on the Lakers, about 1.5. Brandon Ingram, questionable again. What else is new? I'll say straight up, if he doesn't play, I'm down to make a pretty heavy bet on the Lakers, though. I love the way this Lakers team is playing right now. Since the All-Star break, they are 3rd in the NBA in defensive efficiency. I love betting a hot defense, especially on the road. One thing to look out for, though, if Brandon Ingram does play, he has had a lot of success against the Lakers. He's got some good numbers in the last couple of years. It's his old team. He always shows out. I'm not saying I'll bet New Orleans if he does play. I'll just hesitate a little. And you can make an argument this is the biggest game of the season for both teams. Right now, the Lakers, Pelicans, and Thunder are in a 3-way deadlock tie for the 9, 10, and 11 spot in the Western Conference. So the loser of this game will most likely be dropped back to the 11, sitting outside the play-in tournament. I know the Lakers have not had a ton of success against this team. They're just 2-4 in their last 6 against the Pelicans, 0-2 in their last 2 trips to New Orleans. But I'm riding the hot defense here. Give me the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm probably just going to bet this one right after recording this. I'll take the money line at minus 110. If it's announced that Brandon Ingram's going to play, I will lose some value because I'll probably get it at plus 1.5, plus 2. If it's announced that he's not going to play, the Lakers will be laying a point, 1.5. So I'll just roll the dice. Give me Lakers money line minus 110 right now. Next game. The Orlando Magic are on the road in San Antonio to play the Spurs. This is an 8 p.m. start. This total opens up at 227, and this line opens up Spurs plus 5.5. This line's been bouncing around. It dropped down to 5 last night. Then I wake up this morning, it's up at 6. Then it's down to 5.5, and it looks like it's down to 5 again. Public all over Orlando, both the tickets and handle all over the Magic. Let's take a quick glance at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be San Antonio plus 4.75. So we're looking at what? Very slight lean on the Spurs, pretty much nothing at all there. So I'm most likely betting the Spurs in this one. The reason I'm not ready to lock this in right now is because I got absolutely screwed on Sunday. I had a full unit bet on the Spurs, and then around 5 p.m., Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sohan both ruled out. Completely screwed me over. It was too late to change my ticket. Both Johnson and Sohan are listed as questionable tonight, so obviously I want to wait it out. Also, Franz Wagner for the Magic listed as questionable as well. Too many question marks to really lock something in. I can say with confidence that I'll probably be on the Spurs. The only way I don't bet the Spurs is if Johnson and Sohan sit and Wagner plays. So most likely, whatever combination of injuries happen, I'll end up on San Antonio. I'll let you know on Twitter. Milwaukee at Phoenix. Bucks Suns. Good game here. This one starts at 10 p.m. Total opens up at 232.5. This line opens up Phoenix plus 1.5. Everyone was on the Bucks all morning, but check it out. We got a huge chunk of sharp money that comes in on Phoenix in the last couple hours. Line had moved up to 2, but then dropped back down to 1.5. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Phoenix minus 6.5. So a huge lean on the Suns. We're talking like 8-point lean on Phoenix. I'm a little scared of the spot here for Milwaukee. This is their third road game in 4 nights. Milwaukee just played in Sacramento, a tough game where they came from behind to win last night. Fly to Phoenix to play a really tough defensive team in the Suns, coming off an ugly loss. But currently looks like the Bucks are rolling out their normal starting lineup. The only player who might sit, Chris Middleton, is questionable. Other than that, we should see a full-strength Bucks team. And then for the Suns, they're not sitting anybody either. They just played Golden State last night themselves. The Milwaukee Bucks are 8-0-1 against the spread on 0 days rest this season. They've never taken a loss against the spread on these back-to-backs all year. So if as long as Giannis and Holiday are playing, why the hell would I fade the Bucks? Give me Milwaukee minus 1.5. I don't care how square it is. This is the best team in the NBA on a short line. Not even overthinking it. Give me Milwaukee minus 1.5 next game. New York Knicks are on the road out in Portland for a 10 p.m. start. This total opens up at 224, and this line opens up Portland minus 1.5. This line has moved dramatically. It's moved 4 whole points already. We're now looking at Portland plus 2.5. Does that mean Dame Lillard isn't going to play? We'll have to wait and see. Public is all over the Knicks, but the money's closer to even, so there are some sharps out there that like Portland. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Portland plus 6.38. So we're looking at a solid lean on the Knicks, about a 4-point lean. Jalen Brunson listed as doubtful for the Knicks. Damian Lillard listed as questionable for the Blazers. Kind of hard to cap a game with 2 big question marks like that. The line movement, in my opinion, indicates that Dame probably won't play. We'll have to wait and see, though. I definitely don't trust this Knicks team as much without Jalen Brunson on the floor. That being said, last week they went into Boston and beat the Celtics without Brunson. The other night they go into LA and beat a hot Lakers team without Brunson. So maybe I should give them a little more respect. I'm most likely betting the Knicks here, but hear me out. If Lillard plays, I'm definitely going to be worried because, yeah, the Knicks have an elite perimeter defense, one of the best in the NBA, but with Lillard and Simons together, those are the type of dudes that are going to get off their threes regardless of the defense that they're playing. There's 2 of the best shooters in the NBA. So what I think my final decision is going to be is I'll take Knicks minus 2.5 if Lillard sits. If Lillard plays, I want to see what the line does. I might still bet the Knicks light. We'll have to wait and see. I'll let you know on Twitter.
It's parlay time.
All right, it's parlay time. I'll go first. I'm doing Spurs money line, Nuggets money line. Comes out to be plus 427. This is an absolute lock. Cannot miss. Track me. What does that psycho say? Track me. No whistles blown. People who don't have Twitter probably won't know what that is.
Yo, that pick sounded straight up garbage. Here's a real hitter right now. I got an SGP for you. Hornets money line, Nick Richards 10 plus boards, Nick Richards 2 plus blocks. Lock it in. It's free money, plus 475.
If you want the top bets, parlay the day, the VIB ticket for all sports, all that stuff that we do, head over to KyleKirms.com. Also, the Sauce Network app is back up and running. It was down yesterday. So it's back for iPhone users, so you should be able to get back on there. Let's ride the momentum from last night. We had a monster. How about another one? Let's have a solid Tuesday. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you on Twitter.